So this is Darren Williger, and I'm here today with Billy Beatty and special guest star Larry Wentz, and we're going to talk about socials, masterminds. The agenda for today, and a few things we're going to be diving into right away, is an introduction of the masterminds groups. We're going to be talking about what this group is and why we're doing this for free, and how the next 4 weeks are available should you choose to pop back in for any and all of these. You could get some benefit out of them individually or collaboratively. We have some emails available to keep you in touch with some of the technologies we'll be talking about. We have available web resources, including a shared website, socialsmasterminds.com. We also have availability through Twitter to reach out to any of us through our handles right there. We're actively engaged. We'd like to talk with others. And the topic for today is going to be social branding and Twitter networking. The Socials Masterminds groups is a subset of the Masterminds groups that spun out of our weekly Masterminds call. The three of us participate in a weekly group where we talk about marketing trends and how the industry is going to be changing continuously, and we've come up with collaborative information that we're here to share with you today. Now, a little bit about myself, and then I'm going to hand it over to Larry and Billy. I started a users group in 1984. This was my first entry into social networking. I worked as a hacker for hire through security background for Alcan IT. While traveling international securing companies, I was spotted by Dell, picked up to do over $25 million annually by leveraging social media. I founded Williger Incorporated last year to oversee my virtual real estate, and I am the original CEO and founder of Regillo Consulting Group, which was founded in 1991. We cater towards the large and global enterprise, but this year in February, we launched a small business division at regillos.com. I work with 5 partners, and we have some incredible...
Billy Beatty, as Darren said, I'm sorry that we missed out on the king of Twitter, Larry, but I'm sure he'll be back. I have actually been working... my first foray into computers started in 1979, and so I've been online since the early 90s, been working with computers through my whole life, but that hasn't been my life. I'm actually a serial entrepreneur and had experience in the corporate world through several different C-level positions. I've started a lot of companies and sold some companies, and actually have done a lot of things in my life, but the main thing I'm concerned with right now is actually entrepreneurial forays and also social media, social marketing, what's going on online, and how we can actually take what we do socially to the next level, either through video or presentation marketing, different things that we actually have on the horizon that we're looking at, and sharing everything globally, locally, and socially. So that's what I do, and that's what I've been doing, and hopefully we're going to be able to cover some great things today. Darren, I'm hoping that we can get Larry back in. I'm sorry about whatever happened to his presentation, but hopefully let's bring in Larry if we can.
It looks like he's not on, unfortunately. I'm not sure what's going on with Larry. It says, oh, he's missing an audio PIN number. I don't know how we can get this to him, but, well, Larry, if you can hear us, your audio PIN is #67#. I believe he's dialed on a phone, so we'll need to dial #67#. Well, Billy, can you see the screen okay?
I see the screen. I see my beautiful face on there, and you're more than welcome to remove it at any time.
Well, we got your handsome mug up for a reason. We're about to dive into branding. What we'll do when Larry's able to connect to audio, we're going to give him another second here. By the way, another reason this is free, everybody, is we almost anticipated technical glitches as we prepare this for the first time. Hopefully it's working by now. He's there! Everybody, Larry Wentz, Twitter.
Okay, I'm not going to touch anything on the screen because I don't know if I did that or not. I'm not sure what you heard. I think
we heard nothing. We heard nothing.
You heard nothing.
No.
Well, that's pretty much my life story. But no. Anyways, I'm a newbie on the internet compared to Darren. I mean, I don't think I got hooked on the computer. I think it was late '98, and I got involved, really for the last 10 years, heavily into domain name investing, buying and selling, and building little simple sites and doing affiliate marketing. And now I'm starting to get involved in connecting up with social media, and the people that I've got to meet, like Darren and Billy and a lot of other people from our mastermind group and people from all over the world. It's fabulous. So that's what's up with me. That's my introduction. Back to you, Darren.
Larry, thank you so much. And everybody on this webinar, Larry Wentz has over, I think, 180,000 followers on Twitter right now. The guy is just phenomenal. He understands this from different angles. And we're going to have a lot of fun talking about Twitter and how to tweet and how to get followers. But first, Billy Beatty and I are eager to share something here that is strong with all of us, and it's branding. We're going to be talking about the brand dynamics mindset today. And on the screen is an image that is from David Armano, incredible image communicator. I recommend you check him out. And he talks about the branding stairway between heaven and hell. Now, Billy, how does this lead into your presentation for today?
Well, actually, it looks pretty good. I mean, we were actually talking about part of this last night. Whenever you have the stairway to heaven, you have credibility and authenticity are steps that are taking you actually to the top to get brand loyalty, which those actually help to engender trust whenever you're able to present credibility and authenticity. And one thing we were talking about last night is, whenever we have a website, we could use a website for many different purposes, but the one that we want to talk about today is actually creating some type of revenue or monetizing something that you're doing on the web online. And one thing that we've seen through the years is everyone's website tends to be, oh, I'm perfect, look at the flowers, how wonderful everything is. And what we're seeing now is the actual brands that are creating that trust and building to brand loyalty are the brands that are showing on their website, hey, look, we had this screw up, here's what happened, here's how we resolved it, or we didn't resolve it, but here's how we're going to be different in the future. And those simple little tweaks that corporations and individuals like us are doing are actually having widespread ramifications within the branding universe, because what you want to ultimately do is have brand loyalty, have someone think of whenever they hear your name or your brand, and I prefer using the term personality because you want to build your online personality, not so much your brand. It's hard for an individual to think of themselves as a brand. And brands are even now wanting to take the warm fuzzy of a personality and convert their brand into something that you can become personal with. You see it online, you see it on commercials, you hear it on the radio, and you see it in print. They want to develop a personality that you can actually feel comfortable with. That's going to help you to develop your loyalty and your trust with that brand or with that personality. And so something that we've seen back to the negative is actually showing some negatives, not just presenting a positive universe. And I don't mean take the flip side of you're argumentative and you're going to put everyone down. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm talking about all of us have made mistakes in our business careers, and so many times what we want to do is we want to sweep that mistake under the carpet. Well, some brands like Comcast and others have shown, look, we've made mistakes, but you know what? Here's what we've done to fix those, to rectify those mistakes, and here's actually what we want in the future. And also they're asking for input from consumers. How can we be better? How can we serve you better? How can we listen to you more? How can we be more attentive to your needs? How can we plan for the future with you being a part of that plan? And I think that your graphic that you had was very illustrative. Sorry, I'm don't have anything to drink here, so I'm losing my tongue. It illustrates very well. There you go. Exactly what I'm trying to say. So, you know, go ahead and come on into this, Darren. But I mean, that's what I think that Stairway to Hell and Stairway to Heaven. I don't try to go into hell too much because most of us are trying to stay out of branding hell. So I try to stay on the positive of getting up to branding heaven, developing that loyalty and trust with your brand or your personality. One thing I will say about developing followers, which is going to be a part of this, a sure way to get followers, it's very simple, and it's 2 words: good content. And good content also goes across to what you're doing to build your brand. There's jokes and there's funny things and there's funny commercials which bring across something negative, but the majority of things that stick in your mind are the good content type of advertising, the good content type of branding. And if you want to develop a following on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn to a lesser degree, you need to actually provide good content. And Darren has been phenomenal about content. He's one of the most organized persons I've ever met in my life. But he has dynamic content. And you know, if you don't have good content or you can't come up with it yourself, there's a lot of places where you can get free good content. And those are some things that we can teach over these next few sessions. But Darren, go ahead and take us wherever you want to go next.
Billy, thank you so much. That is an incredible tee-up into this whole session we have going on today. As Billy stated, branding has changed quite a bit, and we don't want to enter into that branding hell. Right now, we're living in the U Incorporated. It's this internet era of individuality where everybody can create their own brand. Now, what does that mean exactly, that everybody can create their own brand? Well, of course we can, but is your brand going to be Harley Davidson or Pepsi or Coke? No, it's not, but your brand could be even stronger depending on how much passion you put into it and who your target audience is. But through using social profiles, your blogs and websites, you can really control, first of all, what's coming up for your name in Google, but most importantly, for your niche, for your business. It gives you the possibility to persuade, to motivate, and encourage people to take a look at who you are and understand that individual flavor differently than ever before. Because, folks, check it out. Last I checked, we went through a bit of a recession, and people are a little bit different about their money than they were a few years ago when they had tons of it and everyone felt confident about the economy. So you know what's going on? We're very particular about who we shop with. We like to know who we're giving our money to. We like to trust who we're doing business with. And I look at this trust mentality. If I'm looking to get a painter for my home, I'm going to call a friend who had a painter come to their home because I trust them. Whoever they tell me is a good painter is who I will trust. That, my friends, is what's going on right now, proliferating throughout this social media sphere where we really can control that brand. It allows us to take personal branding to distinguish ourselves from the masses. So the big difference now is it's no longer just that brand and that individual, but it is that brand individual. It's that ability to just have this cohesive communication as far as who you are and who your company is trying to target. It's a lesson that I've learned personally all too well through experience. My company itself has learned to become more fluid in order to cater to the client needs as they change. The key to this was listening. And we've used social media to not only connect with a whole new group of customers, but actually to source the people who are providing the services. It's phenomenal. So that's the difference. It's the ability to really take control of the perceived values because things are what we perceive them to be. Perception is reality. And that's how it works. So if people think your brand is great, well, your brand is great. They think it sucks, it sucks. And companies are investing millions and billions of dollars into trying to control the minds of consumers and purchasers through billboard ads and radio and traditional telephone and magazine and other old school big money wastes when it takes just a little bit of effort to take something you care about and what you enjoy doing, share it with others and become that expert. Because who are you going to buy it from? Somebody you like who actually taught you a couple of things and has proven that they know what they're talking about, or somebody who's going to say, buy my product, buy my product, buy my product? You know, that's Billy, I got to hand it back to you because this slide here really resonates from the heart about what we talked about on the call last night and about how to communicate through inspiration.
Well, I think that the main thing to get from this is whenever you're talking about the first interest at the hearts of your fans, the first interest is always betterment. And one thing that we look at in branding and developing brand loyalty is an inspirational force where we're respecting our customer, our client. We're respecting what their experiences are, and we're trying to actually develop something that is inspirational for that relationship. And what I mean is inspirational force actually inspires you to do something. What is it that we want a client or potential client to do? We want them to click on the call to action, or we want them to buy the Coke at the store, or we want them to come by our dealership and drive past those other 20 dealerships to actually buy that vehicle. And that's something that you have to inspire within a potential client or a past client or a current client. You have to remain in that inspirational mode, trying to inspire the future purchases or the future brand loyalty, and trying to develop that relationship with your clients. And that's where the inspirational force comes in, that we're developing quote-unquote fans of our brands. And that's what you actually want as a fan of your brand. Something that I was going to mention earlier, and I'm not sure if I did, is whenever they hear your brand or they hear your name, human nature is whenever you hear a word, a thought comes to your mind. You can't stop it. Right now, if I say polar bear, all of us see this white bear. There's nothing you can do about it. And by the way, what was a polar bear doing on a loss? Can anyone explain that? I don't get it. But anyway, you know, whenever you say polar bear, a white bear comes to your mind. That's the way that we're wired. We're hardwired that way, that whenever we hear something, that thought comes into our mind and there's a visualization of that. Well, what is a visualization and what is the thought process whenever your brand is mentioned or your name is mentioned? You know, Zig Ziglar on here says you can have anything in the world you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want. And that is something that I'm involved in very heavily. It's actually called Pay It Forward Leadership, and it's also called Servant Leadership. And what it is instead of worrying about what I, Billy, want, how do I help Darren get what he wants, and how do I help Larry get what he wants, and how do I help Sheila get what she wants? How do I help these people get what they want? If I help enough folks get what they want, I'm going to wind up getting what I want. And the reason is because whenever you're helping someone else, you're developing loyalty with them. And you don't have to say, well, you know, I did X for you, I expect you to do Y for me. That's not the way it works. Relationships aren't one for one. If you tried that with your husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend, you wouldn't get very far if they came to you and said, honey, would you take out the trash? And you said, yes, I will, if you'll do X for me. You know, I would probably get a frying pan upside my head if I tried that. Relationships are not one for one. It's not a one for one proposition. You need to have the attitude of what can I do to help you? And that's going to instill an inspirational force within the other party or the other person of, hey man, I would really like to do something back for Darren or for Billy or whoever. You know, I would like to. It motivates us being faithful, and that's what you want. Is you actually want a faithful clientele base. You want to win the hearts of the fans, inspire them to do your purchase or your call to action to buy your service or whatever it is that you're providing, and you want to develop that attraction to you and to your brand and to that the personalization of your brand. Have that loyalty there. And the whole point of all of it is actually adding value. If you're talking about a network, you add value to your network by actually helping other people develop their networks, develop their lives, develop their businesses, develop their relationships. And one very important thing to always remember whenever you're talking about your network is it's your network. That network is your network.